Welcome to the Mortgage Broker Podcast, tailor-made for Canadian mortgage industry professionals. Proudly presented by a Better Way Mortgage Group, this podcast is your trusted source for insider insights, market updates, and strategies to elevate your career in the ever-evolving world of mortgage brokering. Whether you're a seasoned broker with a Better Way Mortgage Group or an industry enthusiast looking to stay ahead, our episodes are designed to empower you with the knowledge and tools you need to excel in the Canadian mortgage space. So with client relationships, what's your approach to building and maintaining strong client relationships?
So relationships and connections is basically how I've built my business. Like I said, a mortgage is a mortgage. It's really the care, the advice, the education piece, and how you help them navigate through that buying journey is sort of where I feel like I can add the value. I use that approach where I'm asking really good questions right from the onset. It's not about just let's get the documents, your pay stubs, let's order the appraisal. It's more, tell me about yourself. What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? How long do you plan to stay in this house? So I can build a bit of a strategy around what they're hoping to accomplish.
Our industry has changed so much since the pandemic and it's gone very virtual. Are you still meeting a lot of your clients or are you doing a lot of virtual work?
To be honest, I at every opportunity try and meet my clients, whether that's at the beginning of the application or at the end. I've had a lot of success getting new business as a result of that. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes you're dealing with certain clients because I'm licensed in Alberta as well. You can't meet them. But whenever I can, I've driven out to North Vancouver, Abbotsford, Maple Ridge. It may take me 2 hours to get there, but I see the value in meeting my clients. And then my clients are very appreciative too, that I take the time and effort to meet with them.
I would say that's probably one of the biggest challenges that brokers face today is how do you actually build a true relationship with the client when you haven't met them?
Right.
And when everything went virtual, lots of people look at that and go, well, this is more efficient. I don't have to drive anymore. But I feel like the referrals, everything that you just hit on have definitely dwindled because you just don't have that relationship. And when it comes to a client potentially jumping ship to another bank or a broker, it's harder for them to do that when you've sat down and met with them and talked about their family and their plans and their goals, right? It's great to hear that. I like it.
As a mortgage broker, we're essentially the middleman in a lot of cases, waiting on a lender for an update or, whatever the case is, you're in the middle and it can be hard to ensure you give your client a smooth experience. It's your priority, but it's not always your control. What do you do to ensure a smooth experience for your clients?
So there's a couple of things. First is communication, making sure my communication is very clear and transparent. And I'm communicating with them in a way that they like to be communicated. Some people are texters, some people prefer the phone. So I always ask my clients, how do you prefer for me to communicate with you? So I can keep that process efficient. So after communication, that I think is really important is speed. The speed of how quickly you get back to them, how quickly you get back to the lenders, communication with the realtors. And this is something I learned from you guys. I never used to call the listing agent before. And now I've started doing that. It's part of my process. And it's been really interesting when they get that call. They're so thrilled because they're not expecting it. And, you call them, the borrower is approved, I'm handling the mortgage, and I've been able to make some new relationships because of that.
That's a great point. It's like to build new relationships with realtors, it's ultimately going to be a cold call in most cases, right? And that's as warm as a call as you can make, especially when it's good news that they're approved, right?
Right.
We always struggled when we first started doing that was when to do that call. And you mentioned when they're approved, that was typically our approach as well, is subjects are being removed, it's broker complete, what have you. We're not worried about maybe the client backing out of the deal and then that being an awkward conversation or ultimately just not getting approved. So did you always just start reaching out when they're approved or did you test the waters there and what worked best and what ultimately did not work in that case?
Yeah, so when I first started doing that, I wasn't sure. But I feel that if I call them at the time that I know that the subjects are good to go, they can be removed, that's a good time to call. Because sometimes there's still one or two things that might be pending, but they may be minor and can wait. So I kind of, of course, each client's different and you kind of gauge when that right time is.
Yeah. I find it so funny. When we had our conference early in March and we had the realtor panel and all of those realtors said they never received that type of a call. And one just received one and they were so pleased to receive that. And, reaching out to realtors can be scary for folks that don't do that because they might get rejected or what have you. But overall, like, whether that person is having a bad day or just doesn't want to talk to you,
Right.
they're going to be open to that conversation, especially when it's like, hey, I'm just giving you some good news. Like, we're moving forward, right?
Yeah, no, that's a great tip I took away from that workshop.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't do that. And maybe that's going to be part of my process. And I would highly recommend any broker to do that, adopt that.
That's a great tip for any listener on here that isn't actioning those calls. But another thing I just wanted to point out that you said speed. And it's always surprising how slow some people that are in business can be when it comes to communication. And like the way that we always built our team was the longer that we take to respond or make a request, whether it be a lender, a client, a lawyer, everything is just being delayed, right? And like a broker's goal through that journey is to get that deal done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. It's just so interesting that a lot of people don't operate in that fashion, right? A lot of people are responding to their emails every day, day and a half. So to stand out as a broker, I mean, it sounds easy and it truly is, right?
Right.
But I mean, clients rave about their broker because it was efficient and it was quick and they got their answer, before the end of the day. So I like that you brought that up.
And they're on edge because this experience can be overwhelming for them. So they're wondering where things are at. So keeping them in the loop throughout the process, also making them feel like they're like a top priority.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, I learned this very early in my career. Actually, Dustin Woodhouse shared this with us is, if you have no update, make that the update to the client, right?
Yeah.
And it was so funny. It's like, call them and say we don't have an update, but it's like that goes such a long way. It's like, hey, just letting you know we haven't heard from the lender or we haven't heard from XYZ, but it's all good. We'll let you know. Like, just simple piece like that, opposed to just going dark for 2-3 days until you get the update, right?
Yeah. And sometimes you think, oh, what am I going to tell them? I don't have no news. But like you said, just even saying that as I'm waiting, I followed up. I'll keep you posted as soon as I hear something.
Thank you for tuning in. If you found value in this show, please subscribe to our channel on your preferred platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Your support is incredibly appreciated. We also welcome your reviews and feedback, which are crucial in helping us deliver outstanding educational content. Feel free to share your thoughts. A 5-star review would be fantastic if you think we earned it. Lastly, a vital announcement about Backpack Buddies, our chosen charity for 2025. This remarkable organization addresses a hidden hunger issue many are unaware of in British Columbia. While school districts provide meals during school hours, numerous children face food scarcity at home, particularly during the weekends. Backpack Buddies steps in to support these vulnerable children, ensuring they have easy to prepare, familiar food for weekends. This is achieved through collaborations with schools and an extensive distribution network. Your contribution can make a significant difference. With just $20, you can give a child in need a food bag from Backpack Buddies filled with enough meals and snacks to sustain them over the weekend and more. Once again, thank you for listening and see you on the next one.